Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff. Your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is the spooky, scary Jeff. Good morning, Joe.
That's true.
In my living room.
How you been, buddy?
I am good. I am just busy trying to get this commission job done. So that's a pressing priority in my hobby time, unfortunately. So
yeah, me too.
I haven't been able to do any Orktober fun. Good morning, David. It's unfortunate, but it is just a part of life. You just kind of flex and adjust.
David is my hero.
David is my hero.
I sent you a link to my brand new Old Rule Studios website.
Yeah, and I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, yeah, I was just really looking at it, and I'm like, oh, there's store hours. Sweet, I know when Jeff's at work, and I understand it was a template. And
yeah, it right now that's what it is. But I mean, I'm sure we can make adjustments to it and everything else.
Good morning.
Here, I'm finally using it. Hey, Don.
Yes, it was. It looks like I don't know what surface it is, but it's got like a good layout for great pictures to be put on it, so that you can, because that's really what you need to showcase is you're kind of like an artist has their profile book. GoDaddy.
Yeah,
GoDaddy still a thing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh my God!
I bought that domain name Old Rule Studios before I left Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know GoDaddy was still a thing.
It's still a thing.
Any suggestions are welcome. I would suggest you don't eat before swimming. I don't know if that's the kind of suggestions he's looking for, but that's a suggestion.
Growing up when I was young, all those years ago, did we have water then? Yeah, I think we had water then.
Yes.
We were not. It wasn't a suggestion from my mother.
It was a rule.
It was a rule, a hard, fast rule.
Yes.
Even to walk by the picnic table where the food was, you were banned from swimming for 30 minutes.
But going back to the website, just like an artist has their book, their portfolio. Yeah, your web page has got to be your portfolio. Yeah. You have to showcase a bunch of different things, just to make it work. Provolone or my
That's not a bad sandwich.
That's not a bad sandwich. Looking pretty good. So very cool. I'm liking it. It'll be nice to see once you get some of your pictures in there. I don't know if it's been updated since you sent me the link kind of fresh.
Yeah, we've got quite a few pics there now.
Cool. I'll have to go back and take a look at it.
And one of the things I want to do is at some point in the near future, Dave and I have to sit down so he can show me how I can update it, so I don't have to keep pestering him to do stuff.
The hours of operations are gone. Damn it. No. Now I don't know when he's open. I don't know how to contact. When can I go visit the store?
I like the email response because people actually can just go down at the bottom and reach out and send me a question, ask me for a quote, which is kind of cool. So I'm kind of happy with this.
And that 24/7. All right, I'll be at your shop at 2:00 in the morning, pounding on the door.
And I'm trying to get caught up from all the commission work I've got, and I'm making good headway.
Good.
But yeah, I feel like I'm in here 24/7. Because then I get home from Battlefront, I'm in here till at least 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we're getting there.
The email communication is important because you need to make it as easy as possible for people to contact you on a website like that. Other websites like your normal big company websites, yeah, you got to go down to the bottom. You got to find the contact stuff, and you're going to get some generic email thing. And I might be freezing up here in a second. I got that little stupid thing. So if I freeze up, just let me know. But you made it really simple, David. Just boom, here I go. Like, let's just do the information, get it out there, because you don't need people fishing around on your email, on your website, trying to find a contact or having to copy paste the email address or go to a hyperlink, because hyperlink break all the time.
Right.
Just made a simple widget. I'm assuming it's considered a widget on a website. I know on a blog page they're considered widgets. I'm assuming it's like some sort of widget that he.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know terminology for websites, but I used to mess around with blog pages a lot. So we used to import
But
widgets.
but David, you'll be happy to know the 2 books you had me sign when I was in Arizona are in the mail on their way to Harry to have Harry sign them. Once they are signed, they'll be on their way to you. So there you go.
Very cool. It was all part of the template. Oh, okay. So they've already put it all together for you. So very cool. I want to start a website, but I'm just going to put random thoughts of Mike on it. It's going to be Mike's random thought of the day website.
Yeah.
You know,
kind of like Gibbs's rules from NCIS. Gibbs is always quoting rules, whatever. I don't know how many he had, but so, yeah.
Very cool. What else have you been up to?
Just painting. I work doing a lot of commission work. I'm cranking on a personal project right now. My repulsor, which is coming along nicely. I usually what I do is I'll paint for 5-6 hours on commission stuff. Then I take a 2-hour break and work on my own stuff, and then I'll paint on commission work some more.
Very cool.
And then just keep cranking away as best I can. So I have a game of 40K 10th edition scheduled for this coming Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyone particular, or
one of my Marcella was one of my really fantastic, great commission customers that I've met at Fall In, and I do a lot of good work for him. He's the guy that owns the Dungeon Saga stuff.
Okay.
So I'm delivering the Dungeon Saga stuff to him to a store up in Wilmington.
All right.
And then he and I are going to play a 2,000 point game of 40K.
Very cool.
It'll be his 3rd 10th edition game and my 11th or
12th. Ooh, so you're like an expert. Dude, I am so far removed from the 40K cycle right now. I don't even know where everything's at with it. Like, if I would be considered a noob now if I went and played 10th edition, because I don't. What book do I buy? Do I even buy a book?
Well, the biggest thing that's changed, that guys from my era 40K, it's all objective driven,
right?
Which Darren and I were discussing that when I was out there, that how we from an era of 40K was just you just kill your enemy. That's what you do. The more you kill, the higher your points.
Whoever has the most models at the end of the game wins.
Yeah, but now it's objective, which quite frankly, I like the objective driven. I like how it works, and I've adapted to it a bit. Because progressively each game I've played in, I've gotten a little better.
Okay.
So other than that, though, I'm looking forward to it. So,
yeah, I'm
sure we're going to go out and get another game. So.
I'm sure the core mechanics, like people are talking a lot about D&D, the new version of D&D, and I'm like, the core mechanics are still going to be the same. Like movement's movement, to hits to hit, to saves to save. There's going to be some sort of magic or some sort of whatever you have, psychic powers, whatever your army has. You're going to have some sort of a phase in there where you can do really cool things to buff your army or to weaken the other army. It's all about controlling the number of dice that you roll at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's just when you start adding in all the little nuances to the game, when you start getting into all the little pieces, the little details that aren't in the core rule books, aren't part of the core rule books. And these are like the army specific things that you have to really be well versed at so you don't walk into that trap.
Well, I tell you, that's one of the things I love about the new GW app, because there's basically you decide what attachment you're going to do, and that determines how your army is constructed to a certain point, what special rules the army gets, as well as what stratagems are available to you. Where in 9th edition, there were so many stratagems I couldn't keep track of.
Yeah.
But now you're limited, probably below 20 stratagems available to you when you're playing, which is actually much easier.
Right.
But the app gives you a play feature where when you've got the army created and you're getting ready to play, you basically go to an area where it shows all your army is all listed out. But at the very bottom, as you scroll down, it lists all the available stratagems that you have and when they are playable.
Oh,
so what phase of the game you can play them in. And then there's also your enhancements, which because you can give some of your leaders, you can get enhancements based on the stratagem that you took. Like
Sure.
for example, I take Stormwind. I believe it's called Stormwind, which is basically it benefits all mounted troops, which benefit my Thunderwolf Cav.
Oh yeah.
And so I get certain stratagems that are tailored for that. I get certain enhancements because I can actually fall back. I can advance and charge, is what I mean. I can advance and still charge. It's normally when you advance, you can't charge, but I can assault and stuff like that. But it's all the app makes it really easy to just scroll through and go, okay, what phase are we in? Well, okay, I've got these. I can do all. And so, but the number of stratagems available aren't so insurmountable that you can't keep track. And the new app helps you do that.
Can you print your army list out from the app? Like like the old days when we used to have, what was that program we used to have? Army Builder?
Oh, Army Builder, yeah.
Yeah. We used to get this thing called a disk, and we put it in our computer, and we printed out our army list and our stats, and then on the bottom it used to give us all the, back then it was special rules.
You can absolutely print that army list out, and I'm actually looking at investing in a new tablet because that way I've got a little bigger screen because I'm old.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I would hate to be on my little idiot box and like trying to do any of the things on a cell phone.
Right.
Obviously a tablet would be perfect.
Yeah. If I got a tablet, I can just set the tablet, get a little stand set off to the side now, let me know what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm enjoying the game probably as much as I did back. I think my favorite edition was around third.
Okay.
And I'm enjoying it. When I do play, I enjoy it as much as I did then.
See, I still think 8th edition for me was my favorite, simply because of the resurgence into the hobby.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily mechanically, it was not a great system. It was full of faults and issues.
It was much better than 7th.
Dude, a kick in the nuts was better than 7th edition.
It did. There was a massive migration back to 40K.
Yeah, and to me it was more just that excitement for the game again that made 8th edition such a great thing. And that, again, over time they massaged it and tried to make it work a little bit better. And some things were good, some things not so much, but they were trying. But I think that was just probably because it was the reset button. And to me personally, I think we had so much fun again. It was almost like being like the first time we discovered 40K, like the first time we played 40K. For you, this was back when you had rocks and you had to push rock. No, I'm just joking.
we had to sculpt our own models out of rocks.
But when you first discover a new hobby, a new interest, you're super excited and you're really into it, and that's when your passion starts getting built back up for it. And it was just great. Community wise, it was awesome.
Well, a few things happened for me, which are kind of like the perfect storm of getting me really back and really passionate about 40K again. The 10th edition was part of it because I liked 9th, but there was still a lot of stratagems, a lot of stuff you had to keep track of, which I'm just not used to that much. But then when they announced the Leagues of Otan, which the only other army I ever played in 40K since the late 80s was squats.
All right.
So having those two, I still have my Space Wolves. Then all of a sudden, squats are back, which is very, very cool. 10th edition comes out, which actually it's much more streamlined, but a lot of fun to play. And then the fact, the fact that they have become so responsive on getting information out there was a big plus, because we used to beg for stuff like that. It used to be the only way to get any kind of an FAQ is to call mail order and ask them. But then doing the build, paint, play Tale of Four Warlords with Dave and Jake and John, and me painting that Wolfspur army just really motivated me to fall back in, and that's just awesome.
You're going to put the time and effort into learning a game, or painting an army, I should say. You want to play the game,
absolutely.
I think that's one of the reasons why my Conquest project never took off this year.
Yeah,
I'm not playing it. I'm not going to sit here and invest all this time, but I am playing Dungeon Saga, and I am playing Warhammer Quest, and I am playing other hybrid board game miniature games. But Conquest, that I bought a bunch of Conquest stuff,
And something will come along will rekindle that. But the other thing that helped a lot was War Games Live. That actually caught with Raymond turned me on to War Games Live, and just sitting. I mean, it's not going to teach you how to play the game, but it does give you some insight into how the game flows.
Right.
And it also kind of gives you a perception of the kind of Warhammer players that are out there. So that was also a plus too.
David, we will have to figure out a time where you and I can hook up. We'll start with some First Blood. David's offering to play Conquest with me.
I see that.
We'll start with some First Blood, and then we'll grow it from there because I've got to paint a bunch of dinosaurs.
That's not a bad thing, right?
No, it's not a bad thing, but they're big and they're intimidating to paint because you got to get the colors in there, and but I can't wait. Yeah. Maybe that'll be my 2025 thing. Like maybe that'll be my big focus. I'm even wearing my Wadru shirt. Like, woo! Got the shirt. I got the threads on. So
you're wearing the stuff.
But that is an important thing, though. Like you painted. You obviously were invited because you're a quality painter. You're a top-notch painter, and and it was the. And it was that history of the four of you, like all of you. I don't know if you knew Jake very well prior to.
I knew Jake. We walked in different circles at workshop. We both reported to John, but we're basically two sides of the same coin, or opposite sides of the same coin. Right. He was on the retail side, I was on the trade side. So we didn't have other when they came down to the office for a manager's meeting. We didn't interact a whole lot.
But you knew David and you knew John.
I worked fairly close with David more at Battlefront than I knew him at workshop and we played a couple of games. We played it well. My White Dwarf battle report was with Dave.
Right.
And it was I still wake up from night terrors from that game. But I knew then Dave came in. He was our War Games Illustrated US editor for War Games Illustrated when Battlefront owned them. And got to know. I don't know Dave really, really well, but I've always considered him a friend. But the biggest thing with Dave is he's always been an inspiration for me as far as his painting and hobby skills go. But yeah, and then I don't know why they invited me. I was just glad they did. It was probably the most fun I had, and it kind of reignited the hobby for me in many, many ways as well.
Which is good. That's a really good thing. So that's probably and I think that's true for most of us. If you're not playing, it's just like a game store. Game store can bring in the latest and greatest game. What you name the game, I don't care. But if no one's actually playing the game in the store, if there's not a reason for people to go over to that shelf and pick something up off the shelf for that game to go play against other people, then the game will just take up shelf space.
Yeah,
and I think you've brought that up many of times. Like if people aren't playing, people aren't buying them. So
well, the one of my anybody that knows me has heard this story, but I one of my fondest memories in a game that we played back when I was still living in Ohio at the Guard Tower we played was a game called Justifiers, which was probably the worst system I've ever played as far as game mechanics go. But Pete, the guy that ran the game, made it tremendously fun. We had a ball,
right?
And that's really what it boils down to. If it doesn't really matter how great the system is, if you've got a good group of guys and you're having fun, then that's all that matters.
Yeah, Blood Bowl is the only exception to that rule, but Blood Bowl is an exception to all miniature rules. But
Blood Bowl's a great game and it gets a bad rap.
But Blood Bowl is just that game like. Usually one person's having a great time at the time.
Well, if you actually watch Blood Bowl, one person is having a great time during one of the halves.
There you go.
Because notoriously, Blood Bowl, you'll have a bad first half, but a great second half, or vice versa.
We should start a Blood Bowl live stream, but overdo it a little bit on some of the responses to the game.
I even have a title already in mind for that channel.
What is that?
Why can't I pick up the damn ball?
we'll just totally like overact the whole concept of how Blood Bowl is played, just total parody.
Yeah.
But yet still make it educational and fun so people can learn how to play the game, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Got it. But the main concept, just overdo it over the top. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah. No, I love Blood Bowl. I really do. The one I want to play, and I own everything for it, I haven't had a chance to play it, but I'm going to eventually with Man of War. I miss Man of War.
Yeah, Man of War, you've got quite a bit. Now, that would be something people would have to go to your place or someplace in Maryland.
Yeah.
You're not shipping that to Arizona to play it at IOG.
No.
You are going to have to set that up. And
I want, when I get through this, I'm kind of in a low point as far as just disposable cash right now. But I'm buying a new curio cabinet eventually.
Okay.
I want to display all my Man of War stuff because I didn't paint any of it.
Don wants in if we're doing a Blood Bowl podcast. It's not going to be a podcast, dude. It's going to be a live stream because we want to show people flipping the table. Like we want to really over exaggerate the reputation of Blood Bowl in the real world. I think it would be hilarious.
I agree. I think it would be awesome
because it would be don't roll skulls.
Awesome.
Because you jinx me all the time when that comes out.
My notorious one is I'm actually going for a sprint, where I'm going to extend my move,
right.
And I'll roll a 1. Oh, I got a re-roll. I'll roll a 1. It's like that just makes it crazy.
And then I laugh hysterically when that happens.
Well, that was when they introduced the new Norse team rules, and you realize that the Norse linemen have a skill called drunkard. I thought they had that in mind for me because I never go for it. I never go for those extra squares because I always blow the roll.
Right.
And drunkard basically just makes it worse.
My
linemen don't fail on a 1; they fail on a 1 or a 2.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, Blood Bowl is still the greatest.
It's a great game, but it does bring out the worst in people at times.
If we were
myself included.
If we were to rank Games Workshop games, past and present, like best game, like rules, mechanics, playability, the whole thing, down to the worst game, Blood Bowl would probably be like number 1, number 2. Like,
as far as I think Blood Bowl for me, the mechanics are the mechanics. I don't put a lot of thought into those. But I look at how much fun I've had playing it.
Yeah.
And so my favorite games would be Blood Bowl, 40K, Man of
War. But mechanically,
my top 3. And then fourth would be Battlefield Gothic.
But Blood Bowl mechanically is a good mechanic game, though. It's the concept of like movement and all the rules and how everything's kind of nicely balanced.
It's really hard to meta that game.
Yes, you have no control over it, and I guess that's the why I think it's mechanically sound. It's like you can't manipulate it. Like dice are gonna do what dice are gonna do, and you're just gonna suffer those. Like in 40K, you can control a lot of that through different things or abilities, but in Blood Bowl, you're just screwed.
Yeah, the dice are the equalizer.
Yeah,
they definitely bring the game back to it, and you can get overwhelmed.
Sure.
The other nice thing though about Blood Bowl is the fact you can be the underdog and still score a victory.
Hobbits win, so do goblins.
Yeah.
Like it's not unheard of to see a goblin team go far, which they're the softest, squishiest thing on the table. But sometimes it just works. It's just it has a lot to do with the strategy of the player and knowing your team and knowing your opponent. But yeah, good stuff. I love it.
I was going to do a compare and contrast on my Punga Chaos Dwarves versus GW's new Chaos Dwarves.
Right.
But I gotta say, I think I was mistaken. When I was building them, I thought they were very small in stature. They were a pain to build. I will say that these are a pain to build.
Okay.
But they're actually about the same size.
All right.
They're not quite as wide as I'm used to them being, but they're not
stocky.
They're not as stocky as I thought they should be.
Okay.
But they're nice. So I've got 2 teams I'm going to start working on. And I've got my Punga Norse team. I'm gonna be working
I'm kind of torn. I'm kind of torn. I'm probably going to end up buying a Chaos Dwarf team, but I don't think I'm going to paint it. I already got one. I got an old Chaos
on.
Dwarf
Oh,
one. So
yeah.
I don't want to spend a lot of time painting up another one if I've already got one. I'd rather paint something new to make it a little. The only team I'm willing to paint multiple times are orcs.
Well, to be honest, if I hadn't backed the Kickstarter for the Chaos Dwarves and the Norse Blood Bowl teams from Punga, I probably wouldn't be painting two. I would probably just go with the standard GW team.
Right.
But I backed that Kickstarter, and the models are dramatically different in their styles,
Yes.
but equally as beautiful. So and the cool part is for my Norse, I can literally paint two because the Norse team can play for either side essentially. Good or bad. They can be chaos on the line, or they can play for the good guys.
It's like when I built my Renegade team. Morning, David. I had to buy I needed one elf, like dark elf model or something, so I had to buy a whole box of them for one model. But I like that because it really expanded my. Because I don't have a rat team, so I should probably do a Skaven team.
Skaven teams are scary.
I know. That's why I should probably do one.
So bloody fast.
Oh, they're
and I hate prehensile tail.
Yeah.
And I play my Norse team like they're black orcs. So.
They just don't stand up like black orcs do.
Well, that's it. I'll have about 5 or 6 games where I just pound on people, and then I have a game that reminds me you realize your armor's only 8+.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And I can't wait to try the new Ironhard skin for the Chaos Dwarf.
Yeah.
Because that basically means you can't modify their armor value in any way. So mighty blow doesn't work. Claw doesn't work. They are their armor value. You cannot adjust their armor value in any way for just alignment.
Right. Yeah, which is pretty much a Chaos Dwarf team. Yeah, obviously you can add in the hobgoblins and the minotaurs and stuff like that, but the most of your Chaos Dwarf team are linemen.
And then the hobgoblins are hobgoblins. They have no skill whatsoever, and they're cannon fodder.
But if you can get them the ball, they can run like a son of a gun because you can't get a Chaos Dwarf to move.
The best part about it, you got your bull centaurs,
right?
Which are your runners basically,
right?
They've got sprint, and then but if you can get a hobgoblin, because they actually do have there's kind of like a sneaky get type. Hobgoblin now that can get all stabby.
Sweet.
And then the new Chaos Dwarf rules have fire breathers, which I haven't figured out because they don't have. Normally, if you have a secret weapon, you have a skill called secret weapon, which means basically after the half or the first drive, you're out.
Right.
Unless you argue with the ref. They don't have secret weapons, so I got to find out from the FAQ if because they drink a potion lets them breathe fire,
which would be a secret weapon.
But it's not listed. So I'm kind of confused. I haven't done a whole lot of research, so I may be talking outside my head. But I'll figure it out.
Well, that could have been a rule that got changed, maybe.
Yeah.
When's the last time because goblins were the main team that had secret weapons. For the most part. Now
there are so many. All-star players have some. Almost all-star players have some sort of secret weapon.
Yeah, just different time.
Yeah, and I'm not that familiar with the rules yet. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it.
We're gonna have to revisit Blood Bowl and start painting up some stuff.
Well, I want to come out in the spring, and I want to run a Blood Bowl event in the spring when I come out.
Okay.
And that'll be a perfect time to do that because then we'll have a nice arrangement of teams.
We can get Darren in there to play.
Yeah, I love that. I would absolutely love that.
That would be awesome. So, should we look at photos?
I have photos.
So what I'm going to do is, why don't you take over? I'm going to restart. I don't know if I'm freezing up or not, but I've got that.
Yeah, but on occasion, you're all fuzzy.
Yeah, so I'm going to
go ahead and drop out and come back in.
All right. Reload.
Why did that not?
Here I am.
I think you're.
Did I screw it all up by refreshing?
I don't know. Let's try that again. There we go. I think when you refreshed, it kind of kicked me out of doing what I was doing.
Okay.
We were doing too much at one time.
I know, we press buttons. All right, this is Amos's model. This
Amos
is
Abaddon.
he's a friendly soul that just wants to scratch your back.
Is that Abaddon or Horus?
I thought he said Abaddon, but
I think he did say Abaddon. I'm brain dead today. Yeah, that's Abaddon. That's Abaddon.
Great look. It's an actually really great model, the sculpt and everything.
Yeah.
Very, very reminiscent of old school 40K with all the skulls. You gotta have those skulls. Love it. I love how he did the red flesh tone.
Yeah.
Like your eyes are immediately just drawn to the center of that model because he's got the red top piece, the red flesh tone, the red centerpiece on his belly, then the red cloth going down. So all your eyesight just goes right to that.
Yeah, no, that's a good job.
Yeah, I love it.
Love the work on the cloak too.
Nice blending. Red can be a pain in the neck to weather up and make look good.
Yeah, well, yeah, because he tried to avoid orange or pink.
Yeah, that's kind of the challenge.
Yeah,
but I love it. Just love it. It's a neat model. Oh,
and then him with his special effects.
That actually looks like a cartoon panel.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Very nice.
Cool.
Very nice. Love it.
And this is Mr. Hummel's stuff, I believe.
Very nice tank. Thanksgiving's coming up.
It is. It is.
Very cool. More chaosy.
Yes.
Look at that. Very nice.
That's a busy model.
Yeah. Got lots of gold trim going on, so I love it. Gold and red are kind of great colors. Oh, more Battletech. Joe's cranking out the Battletech. Battletech is hot and running right now. Very good stuff. Doing some line work on them. Very cool. I like that robot. Even did the white on the lenses or the windows, I guess we could say. Did the little lens work on them. Very nice. White has become an easier color to do with speed paints. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Yeah.
Because you've got this there's like a light bluish kind of a color that goes on like a wash. Well, you're getting the bases done, Joe. That's what they're supposed to look like. I was thinking about it. But anyways, there's a speed paint that's really nice for white and gives it a nice cool tone.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Big Atlas.
The big Atlas. But I complimented your windows too, Joe. I gave you you doing the little I swear by the Procryl whites. Actually there's a really cool white blue tone that Procryl has too. I'll post a Thanksgiving pics in about 3 weeks. More something. There you go. Lots of Battletech, Joe. Keep it up, buddy. I'm assuming you're running or playing Battletech at IO. Getting all these models great, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a huge army, though, when you're done, man. Like, you got a lot of reds going on.
Oh, this is Mark's studio.
We're gonna say no more hobby rooms. We have studios. Change it.
Yeah,
studios.
This thing's immense.
Yes.
I was just flabbergasted.
Now he's not in a basement, but he's on a lower floor. Obviously,
I think he's in a basement.
Well, he's got a window.
Yeah, but it could be one of those where it's half exposed.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Look at that. That is just how many years of hobbying.
Look at all those kits.
And they're perfect. They're not built. They're in a box and they Tetris on the wall. Beautiful.
I thought maybe he's getting ready to open a store.
Mark's little hobby shop.
And yes, David, you did. You prompted me to put a place up and people are taking advantage of it. And now I feel inferior.
I love it. He's got his racks up there. I see Andy's Tiger. Where did? Andy Hobby's headquarters. I got you. Maybe those are up in the back wall there.
Maybe here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at.
Now here's something about Mark. I've known Mark forever. This is something I didn't know about Mark.
What's that?
Well, we'll see here in a second. But, I mean, it's a beautiful room. It doesn't just hang out in there.
Now, if it was me, I would see. You see the rafters on the top?
Yeah.
I would have buckets stored up in there with more stuff, and I would just have them fit in the rafters there. So that
I'm just impressed at how well organized it is. Now he gives his wife credit for what's coming up. Because I didn't know he was in RC Planes.
Oh yeah.
I never realized he was in RC Planes, and apparently his wife set all this up to display them. They're behind him, behind his studio in the extra space in the back.
Very cool. I think he posted these once before.
I remember this first time I recall seeing them.
Okay,
but I never realized that I've known him for so long that he actually flew RC Planes.
Yeah, I can't fly RC Planes. Up is down, down is up, and I crash.
There you go.
Look at that.
Those are all in the back. Oh,
yeah.
That's Mark's studio, and then this is what is this guy's name? This is a commission piece. I haven't even put this on any place else. This is Legio Custodes Tribune Xeon Hale or Izion Hale. So
very nice.
And then more Sisters of Silence.
Love the Sisters of Silence.
I'm almost done. I've got 30 of them I got to do. I'm just over halfway there.
These for Todd?
These are for Todd, yeah.
Okay.
I think I've got 5 more to do.
Very nice.
Knock these guys out, and then that's this week's picks.
Very cool.
Boom.
I had no pictures to show because I can't show my stuff.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet. I will take good photos when I'm done and do that. So the next 2 weeks we're not going to be here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot.
So next week is the local craft show annual yard sale thing. So Andy's going to be set up doing her craft booth,
right?
Selling badge reels. She got into badge reel making, custom badge reels. Oh no, yeah, sorry, David. And then I'm going to do a garage sale at the house and try to hawk off a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Can't you take them to like Bookman's or something?
But then I just get more crap.
That's true. That's
right. Because Bookman's, you would want to. Yes, you can take them to Bookman's. You'll get $0.25 a car, and mostly store credit. And I'm like, then I just bring more crap home. So I'd rather try to sell it all off or sell it, and then take the money and pay off the debt that the Hot Wheels had put me. And then it'll be Christmas time coming up, so I'll probably dump a bunch of them on like those Christmas charities,
right?
Like I don't want to say Tree Angels because Tree Angels is a different thing, but like a group that does like baskets or presents for kids. I'll probably just like, hey, here's 4,000 Hot Wheels. Have a nice day. Let's do something like that. So, and then the week after that, so that's the 2nd.
Right.
Then the week after that, on the 9th, I'm going, well, the 9th is tentative. It could happen, it could not happen. So we'll keep you posted because Jason could have something come up. We're supposed to go down to the shop and do some work over at Gamelin Games, doing some organizational stuff, and then I have to deliver the models that I'm painting for them on that day. So
cool.
So that's gonna keep me tied up for the next 2 weeks. So today will be the last show for a couple weeks, and then probably come back a week, and then it'll be Thanksgiving, and then we'll probably come back for a couple weeks, and then we'll take our Christmas break. Hopefully by then you'll have all your car stuff figured out.
Yeah, I'm hoping this week puts that all to bed. So
yeah,
we'll get that all sorted out. So.
Yeah. So outside, I don't really have a lot going on. We celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary Thursday next week.
Outstanding. Good for you.
Yeah. Well, it's Halloween, so we will on Halloween night we're gonna go to a local restaurant and have dinner and escape the knockers on the door of begging for candy. Congrats. Thank you, David.
I'm, I'm actually thinking about if we do here in the complex, if they have beggars now, I may actually turn my porch light on and actually give out candy.
Give out candy or give out paint?
Actually, I've been doing that a lot because I've just been taking I've been really kind of thinning out my old paint collection.
Yeah.
So any paint that's still viable, I've been just giving to people that
I should just stay home and hand out Hot Wheels. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Just
have a Hot Wheel. Have a Hot Wheel. Have a Hot Wheel.
Yeah, same thing. Pretty much, we do eat paint. We are paint lickers. Well, some of us. It's not only red paint causes cancer, and that's only if you live in California. How that label came to be, I'll never know.
I have no idea.
But outside of that, I don't have anything I can paint on camera.
I didn't even hook my camera up because I've got other things, so many other things. I didn't do my table camera today.
All right.
So yeah, because I've got so much going on. I've got to go to my daughter's house today for a birthday celebration, and I think I quoted Bilbo last week that I feel like butter spread over too much bread right
now. That's funny.
Yeah, so I got a lot going on. I'm just exhausted. I haven't had a good night's sleep. I don't know how long.
Well, and I think it's just it's that time of the year, like the weather in Arizona.
David Hummel says he's so boned. Red is his primary color on his arm. I did. Hey, you'll be happy to know I did discover I was watching something where they were talking about how they generate cover, and if they basically use a parasite that they crush and add that because there's a certain thing they call it to get the red color dye. It's an actual parasite they use. So.
I'm gonna stop licking red paint. That just sounds. And I'm sure they don't sterilize.
Well, now the only thing they talked about where they use that coloring is in Skittles. So that was one of the colors they use, and they gave you the name of what they call the coloring. Just do a Google search for parasite used for red dye, and you should get another little video that shows you how that works. And they'll talk about the candies that use that color.
I'm sure they don't call it parasite number 5.
No, it's got a scientific name.
Yeah,
I would imagine if you just do parasite that makes red dye in candy, you'll get some kind of some information on it.
Well, I'll never eat candy again.
Well, I'm not. I'll eat everything with the red Skittles. That's all.
Is that why?
Who am I kidding? I'm going to eat red Skittles.
You're going to eat the red Skittles. But there's so much red in candies, like hard candies and Lifesavers and all the Starburst and all that. If that's all from a parasite, that's no wonder we're all fucking dying.
Well, what I find funny is I have been around people that have some very, let's say, interesting dietary habits that make you kind of scratch your head. But yet, if I said, hey, there are parasites in that red dye, they will freak out.
Dave, I haven't eaten a Skittles since they stopped being flammable. When were Skittles flammable?
I think they were when they were first released. They were flammable.
Really? Well, give you a little extra boost, I guess. I still like how people put Mentos. Is it Diet Coke or soda? Where the Mentos explode the soda. I'm like, it's fascinating because it's something to do with the surface tension of the.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah,
it's only Mentos. It's just really weird how
and it only works in Coke, I believe. So.
And you got to kind of wonder, okay, so what are those doing internally to me?
Well, you remember the whole urban legend about the Pop Rocks and Coke.
Eating them all. And drinking.
If you were eating Pop Rocks and Coke your mouth, it would kill you.
Didn't Mythbusters worked on that? They made an episode on that.
It's not real.
Well, I think that's what their conclusion was. The amount you would have to consume. They made it work, but the
Right.
amount you had to consume was beyond
Massive.
capability. Yeah, it's like it's a you can't do it. You would have
And the sad part is there are people out there that probably watched that episode that looked at that as a challenge. Oh, consider Gauntlet dropped. I'm on.
So there goes Jeff buying a bunch of Pop Rocks and Coke. But there are like certain times when you drink a soda, like you just feel really sometimes like weird because it's all foaming up, and I'm like, ugh. It happens. All right, well then we'll go ahead and cut out early today. So the next 2 weeks we won't be here. It's absolutely real. And they brought you back.
You know how I know that's not true? Because if he was a zombie and they kept bringing him back, he wouldn't be complaining about, he was celebrating the fact we're going to be off for next week because he could actually sleep in.
So we're gonna go ahead and cut out early today because again, I've got to work on commission stuff.
Yeah, I got a lot to do too.
And you got a lot of family stuff going on, and so we'll be back. I don't know what the date is, but put it down for 2 weeks from now.
Today's the 26th, so it will be the 2nd and the 9th.
Yeah, 2nd and 9th, but the day we're coming back will be 7 days after the 9th.
That will be the 16th.
The 16th, and then the week after that's Thanksgiving, which is fine. We usually do the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I don't think
I had planned on it. We normally do, but let's just play it by ear, see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how everything goes. And then we'll just take it from there. So everybody have a wonderful weekend and stay safe and have a wonderful trick-or-treating day.
Enjoy your Halloween.
Halloween. Just make sure if you're driving around at night, you watch for little children because they're hyped up on sugar and they're running in the streets. So just be careful. And dogs and cats. I will be running a bunch of animal bite calls after Halloween because that's the norm. Dogs bite kids dressed up in scary costumes. I don't know if people knew this. You dress a kid up in a really weird outfit and dogs freak out and bite them.
Yeah. I may freak out and bite some of them. There's some scary stuff out there.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to y'all later.
See you guys.